Hello YouTubes, welcome back to Factorio with Doofus K, which is me. Which may be a little obvious, but I'm all about clarity on this show. So here we are, we're back. I keep on saying we. I fixed my conundrum here. I don't know that I even noticed it before, but I had totally disconnected the green goo processing area. And I was like, oh, what the heck, nothing's researching. Well, that's because I had totally removed that whole piece. So, you will also notice, excuse me, is that I removed the red goo production from this area right here, and moved it over here. So you can see, actually, these two, or this belt here, utilizing both sides of it, because we're all about efficiency here. So we got the red goo production, or excuse me, green goo production and the red goo production. So that's good. We're keeping up with demand here pretty sufficiently. I don't really like this line here. Oopsie-daisies. That's a problem. Let's stop that from happening. We're about to put steel down that line. That wouldn't be good. I don't really like this setup here. Having to have iron and copper on one row is, I don't know, sort of lame. But for now, I think we're good. This production setup isn't the worst I've seen, but it's not the greatest. We're creating a lot of stuff here. Hold on, let me mute myself. Alright, sorry about that, I'm back. Couldn't figure out how to mute my microphone. I had to cough. So, yeah, we're making a lot of stuff here. I don't really like this whole line because it's kind of inefficient. So basically what you end up with is, if one of these inserters is going full bore, one of these smart inserters, so let's say this one's taking iron off, well, that means that you only got one inserter putting iron on. So if you have two going at full bore, it's not going to work. So that is definitely the the bottleneck of this system. Robots will solve that, but robots are ridiculous expensive, so we're not going to get into that. I might redesign this whole area because you can see pretty clearly this isn't exactly working the way it should be because we've got a huge pileup of iron. So let's clear this out a little bit. So basically what we've got here is this massive amount of ore that basically isn't being utilized because I can't process it fast enough. We've even unlocked, I'm pretty sure we've unlocked, yeah, electric furnaces. I don't have the power capabilities yet to do that. I mean, we're pretty close to the edge here, so I'm not going to upgrade those yet, but how expensive are these things? Ooh boy, advanced circuits, yikes. So electronic circuits, plastic, and copper. Ah, that brings me to my next part. So you can see I've got this one refinery going pretty much constantly. Well, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm making plastic, and holy cow, I got a lot of it. In fact, our limiting factor here is coal. We're going to need a lot of plastic, so I'm totally okay with that. So, one key tip about oil production, or oil refining, is each tick of the progress bar here makes each of those products listed. Now, what happens is, if one of them fills up, either fills up the pipe or fills up your array of storage containers, the whole deal stops. So it's not like it will just go and fill up heavy oil, and then it will just continuously go and fill up light oil. If one of them is full, you're dunsies. So basically what I'm doing is and actually this is going to be a problem because I'm still not using enough light oil. I will need to make lubricant, but I'm basically burning off the excess oil, essentially oil products, to make solid fuel. I'll just show you A lot of people, I guess I don't know this for sure, but I think a lot of people kind of poo-poo on solid fuel. But so basically we look here. Let's just take a look at the inventory. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. What the heck was that? C apparently is shoot. Okay, so back to the matter at hand here. Coal, fuel value, 8 megajoules. Solid fuel, 25. So we're talking about a huge difference. And where that matters is basically you use quite a bit less fuel running your electrical supply here. The other thing that I've done a lot of stuff, is I've added some storage tanks at the end of my steam engines. And you can see that you can store hot liquids in these tanks. So basically what happens here, let's say we have a catastrophic conundrum somewhere, and my solid fuel poops out. Oh, sweet. Sulfur processing, which we'll need next. So there's some sort of catastrophic conundrum somewhere, and our solid fuel runs out. These steam engines will pull the water out of these tanks, so you would get X amount of minutes of power. Now, there's really no way to indicate that, so I guess it really doesn't help in the long run, because if you're off dilly-dallying around somewhere up here, I mean, you're not going to know that, you know, something's blown up or what have you, so it's not totally helpful, but it's just an added benefit, I guess. So I unlocked sulfur processing, which will be the next thing. How do I make sulfur? Water and petroleum gas. Well, that's going to be a problem because I'm using petroleum gas to make chemicals. We might have to refactor. Can I do advanced? Oh, let's see. Somewhere in here there should be advanced. I probably haven't unlocked it. Poopy pants. So basically advanced processing gives you, like, I don't even remember what it is now, but it basically allows you to make more petroleum gas, and I think actually, let's build another chemical plant, because we'll need one anyway. Let's inspect what we can do. We have lots of oil around here, actually, so I'm not really worried about... This is kind of wasteful, what I'm doing here, but I do need fuel for the power plants. Alright, so... So I could make lubricant. I'll need that anyway, because I need to make advanced circuits. Or, I'm sorry, not advanced circuits, these engine units. So I'll probably need to do that. Well, we're going to have to revisit that, because I'm not really sure how this is going to work. But basically, we're going to have to tap all these oil rigs here and really start ramping up oil production, because we're not really utilizing a lot of this stuff here. I need to repair that because I shot it right in the face. But so that's, I think, a project for the next video. This is all going fairly well. We do have smart chests and stuff set up, so we don't go hog wild. What happened here? Oh, got some gears stuck in the mix there. That's fine. I'm actually more impressed with this. Making these stupid circuits is really a pain in the butt. And getting this automated as early as you can really, really helps. Because you're going to need an approximate buttload of those things. Basically everything from here on out takes those things. I mean, look at that. 10 of those. Advanced circuits are fairly expensive to make. We could make them by hand, I think, but we will need to automate that. So I might actually split off planning out these things is really key. I might kind of make this section into my circuit area, because electronic circuit, advanced circuit, processing unit, we're going to need a lot of those. And those pretty much require oil. These don't. The red ones do because you need plastic. The blue ones do because you need sulfuric acid, in addition to advanced circuits. So we're going to have to crank out quite a lot of the red circuits. Oh, this one's done, though. I really need to figure out first what we can do here, because this is designed poorly at best. So I'm going to pause the video and have a think-see about this and see what we can do about that. Alright, welcome back, viewers. Did a little bit of modification here. Took out the steel processing area because I have the ability to make electric furnaces, so I don't need to muck around with the steel furnaces anymore. So I think, well, this isn't really a better solution, but it'll at least give me some more storage. This is still a bottleneck because even though you have 4 outputs, you're still funneling everything through one side of the belt. So ideally, you'd have 1 belt for steel and 1 belt for copper plates. Unfortunately, well, oh no, I know why you can't do that, because there's no such thing as a long-handed smart inserter. So you'd have to do some sort of crazy nonsense to get that to work properly. The second thing I did was I upgraded this whole area to do these fast transport belts, just to get the items off of this line as quickly as possible. I'm still pretty much at the limit here. You can see that this line over here isn't moving at all. Oops, in fact I missed one. Oh, it's because I don't have any left. Did I make some? Yes, I did. So, unfortunately, this underground thing isn't the right speed, but meh, that doesn't matter right now. So even with 4 smart inserters, it's still not fast enough to keep up. So, ideally, in a perfect world, you wouldn't need any of this storage. You would have the storage at the end of the line, and then somehow pump it all back, or maybe just make an infinite loop. I don't know if that's possible. I might investigate the possibility. So basically what you can do is use these crazy, these thingers here to, like, combine 2 into 1, and then, you know, or like 4 into 2, and then into 1, or whatever. I don't know if that would help in this situation, but, I mean, we're cranking out a lot of steel plates, but, I mean, we're making a lot of steel plates. Excuse me, we're using a lot of steel plates. Really, gears is the big problem here, because I really need to make a lot of them. Let's see if we can crank this up a notch here. That might help. Yeah, that helps a little bit anyway. Copper, I'm not too worried about. We will need some copper wire for some of our future projects, but I will sort of deal with that in a different manner. The one thing I like about this setup is that there's enough room in between these things, like here, to run an underground belt underneath it. So even if, let's say, I wanted to pull copper wire off of this line somehow, I could do that and ship it underneath here, and then, using more underground belts, ship it up here. So there's lots of options. It does get a little messy. I mean, obviously, you're looking at this, you'd be like, well, what the heck is going on here? But it all makes sense in my feeble brain. So, and that's enough excuse for me. So the last thing I'll do in this video, this is getting a little long-winded, I know you've never heard of that before from me, is I will set up some induction furnaces here to pull even more steel off. Copper. No. Iron. Jeez. Alright, so what do we got here? Steel chest. Let's take a couple hundred of that back. Take this back. Now, this is the annoying part. These are actually quite a bit bigger than these, so if we did want to upgrade this kind of smeltery area, we'd have to redo the whole thing. So for now, I'm just going to leave it because we're clearly not utilizing all of the production capacity. So let's really start doing that and start making some steel. The problem is we're really gonna. So this is how you. This is the power electric info or network electric. What does it say? Electric network info. So you can see here that those two electric furnaces are using 370 kilowatts, which is a fair amount. However, the keen observer will notice that I took the radar out because it was annoying, and we've already unlocked our whole view. It's in my inventory here, so I can put it back, but it was unnecessary for now. Let's just do that. So electric furnaces are the fastest. However, they're not the most efficient. Well, I take that back. Electricity is probably easier to make than it is versus coal or solid fuel. So, I guess that might be a toss-up. Really, where this is interesting is you can run these off of solar panels, and then you don't have to worry about fuel at all. But when it's nighttime, obviously the whole thing shuts down, unless you have storage for some of that. And you can make some pretty sophisticated electrical network setups here. Run it on on solar during the day, and then when the power goes out at night, turn the steam engines on, etc. We might look in that up, but so it looks like we're cranking out some good stuff here. Finally. I wonder if it might be worth it to make one half of this line be copper and the other half iron ore. I don't know if it's necessary to make that distinction or not. Because I think... Ah, good. This is finally moving the way I wanted it to. Excellente. That is wonderful, wonderful news. I'm still not using enough light oil. And coal is still my limiting factor down here. Well, we'll revisit this whole oil debacle later. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Oh, and I also added some storage for solid fuel. You can see I've got quite a few stored up. This seems a little more efficient than just having it line way up along this thing, so I think this is working well. We're sort of limiting the amount of steel that's being produced, but I don't think that's a horrible thing. Make sure everything is running correctly. I bumped this up to oop, and actually I didn't even bother to connect it here. I hate it when I do that. So I want gears less than 2,000. Alright, good. Otherwise that smart inserter would have just kept on going. So I set the limit to 2,000. Unfortunately, well, I started making some of these fast belts. They take a lot of gears. 5 gears per. So, yeah, it really chews through those things pretty quickly. The reason why I put this down is because this factory is way quicker than making it just in your inventory. I don't want to automate this yet because these take a lot of resources. In fact, I'll just delete that, so just pretend like you never even saw that. But I think everything else is good. What's happening here? Oh, we got some copper that mucked up the line there. Okay. Alright, there we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Interestingly, it had built up enough in there that it didn't really notice, but... Man, look at that crank out those inserters. That's pretty sweet. So, alright, that is, I think, my next episode done. Thanks for watching. This is Doofus K. Next episode, we will go into, well, probably sulfuric acid, more oil stuff, and then advanced circuits and engine units, because we're going to need to make some of those. Thanks again for watching. Keep the comments coming, and we'll see you next episode.